Viewers, good evening. As the world grapples with the horrific violence against minority Hindus in Bangladesh, a chilling reality emerges closer home in India. Certain individuals and opposition leaders seem to be salivating at the prospect of replicating this mindless violence, with some even openly inciting mobocracy. Congress leader Salman Khurshid's remark that what happened in Dhaka can happen in India is a disturbing indication of this mentality. Another Congress leader's statement that people will target PM Modi's house next is a virtual call to arms, inciting violence and mob rule. Let's be clear, viewers, opposition to a government or leader is democratic, but inciting violence and mobocracy is not. The hate for Modi cannot justify the desire to unleash chaos and destruction on the streets here. This is not political opposition, but a recipe for anarchy.
Nothing. I go back.
Your own party has distanced itself.
No.
Your own party has distanced itself from your comment. What do you have to say?
Please ask my party.
याद रखना नरेंद्र मोदी जी, एक दिन ये जनता जितने सड़क पे हिलोरे दे रही है, एक दिन तुम्हारी गलत नीतियों से तुम्हारे प्रधानमंत्री निवास में घुस जाएगी, कब्जा कर लेगी.
This is the same Congress party which in Modi Virod time and again has descended into Desh Virod, sometimes asking for foreign intervention into India, sometimes betraying and berating the Indian institutions of democracy on foreign soil. Today Rahul Gandhi must tell us that does he accept the stand of Salman Khurshid?
मुझे लगता है कि बांग्लादेश से हमें ये सबक सीखना चाहिए कि तानाशाही का ज्यादा वक्त नहीं होता है.
जब विदेश यात्रा में राहुल गांधी जाते थे और कई लोगों से चोरी चुपके विदेश में जाकर मिलते थे और भारत के खिलाफ वहां कह के आते थे, तो आज मालूम पड़ रहा है आखिरकार मंशा क्या थी.
Viewers, you heard the reaction. What does it mean? What do they want? Are they endorsing destruction of public property, the targeting of innocent citizens, and the undermining of the rule of law? What else can it mean? Are they endorsing this nationwide anarchy? Salman Khurshid and the entire India ecosystem, do they back this despicable desecration of statues here? Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, what have you? What do they want? And why are they saying, if they don't mean this, are they backing undemocratic regime change? Is that their slogan now? People who are chanting Jai Samvidhan are now suddenly resorting to this kind of antics without realizing the potential danger that it has. Are they endorsing this mass looting, arson, vandalism that is only going up by the minute in Bangladesh, is not limited to Dhaka anymore? Let's go to the next one. Attacks on minorities and temples. Do leaders of Team India want this? Attacks on minorities here in our country? 5-star hotels have been set on fire. Many people have been burnt alive. Is this the India model, viewers? That's the question we are asking. And let's open this up on that note then. Shehzad Poonawalla, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Sushant Sareen, senior fellow of the ORF. Dr. Syed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK. IP Singhji, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. And Kamruzaman Chaudhary completes the panel. I want to begin with you, Kamruzaman Chaudhary ji. What has Salman Khurshid said? Because I can't make sense of it. And I haven't heard any condemnation from senior India Alliance leaders. Why are you backing anarchy?
Now, Pranesh, now whether the events which are happening in Bangladesh can happen in India is of course debatable, and I doubt it to be happening in India.
No, do you want it to happen in India?
Or the underlying factors leading. Can I please finish, Pranesh?
No, you can, sir. It's a legitimate question. I am concerned.
Basically, you can ask. You have got a very esteemed panel tonight. Let them also cross me up. You have put up a question. Let me put it forward. What Salman ji has actually meant to say.
Okay. Elaborate on what
basic
Salman ji
question
said.
or the basic thought processes that came into Mr. Yeah, on the thought process in which Salman ji said these words were not out of the context, because the same underlying factors which led to the anarchy in Bangladesh, like joblessness, like price rise, or like how the government is functioning, these are all factors that are certainly existing in India to a different degree. Maybe it exploded in Bangladesh, but it's yet to find any resonance in Indian democracy. We are a vibrant democracy, a tolerant one, no doubt about it. But the underlying factors are of course there. You have got an Umar Khalid in jail for whatever reason, for 1500 days without a fair amount of trial. Even his bail application has been rejected. You have got 150 MPs chucked out from the parliament just because somebody wanted to pass bills without any discussion. You have got state governments in Maharashtra, in Manipur, Goa, Karnataka, and Madhya Pradesh, and lots of places have been simply dismissed because they wanted a different government out there. You have got the Assam government framing laws day in and day out, which seems to be targeting a particular section of the community in the state. You have got the government which is always silent whenever atrocities are happening against a particular section. The underlying factor, Pranesh, cannot be discounted, and of course, as a nation, we stand with our government of the day, that is the Bharatiya Janata Party government, in whatever decision it takes. But I cannot be an ostrich with my head buried in the sand and say that everything is hunky-dory.
I am not surprised with what you are saying, because I had expected this
over the
from
last
you.
10
Otherwise,
years.
you know, how would we have a debate? If you agreed with what I said, how would we debate? Now, in defending Salman Khurshid, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, look what you've done.
it's
You are
not a question of the
one minute,
debate.
one
It's
minute,
not-
sir, 1 minute. Listen to me now. In defending Salman Khurshid and the likes of Sajjan Verma, or whoever he is, you have questioned the integrity of our judiciary. Not just that, you have condoned the mindless mob rule violence murders in Bangladesh by saying that there is context to what is happening in Bangladesh and there is context to what is happening in India. Now, before I get in the BJP, Sushant Sareen, over the last 2 days, sir, you know, reports have been pouring in, disturbing images, visuals, terror tales. I don't want to mince my words, but look what it has come down to. People are now craving for this kind of scenario to happen in India.
Yeah, so Pranesh, there will be a lot of people who will want this to happen in India because they think it will catapult them into power. I think that's the hope. And the assumption is that this will happen to their opponents and it will not happen to them. So let us assume for a moment that I don't know who that low-life character is whom you showed, who was threatening that this will happen in the Prime Minister's house. Yes, it could happen in the Prime Minister's house. It could just as well happen in Mr. Verma's house, that low-life's house. And it could happen in the house of a chief minister, right? Are you endorsing it? Are you backing this? Are you giving it some kind of sanctification that this kind of mobocracy, this kind of mob rule is what is the way to change governments? Or do you go into an election, as indeed has happened in India, Pranesh, on multiple occasions, that in states people have gone into elections, they've been very closely fought elections, and governments have changed. And people have very gracefully, we saw that in Andhra Pradesh this time, we've seen that in Karnataka, we've seen that in multiple states, that, you know, gracefully you hand over power to whoever wins an election. Elections are happening and elections are free and fair, number one. Number two, you know, there is this self-destructive streak in many of these characters. And like Mr. Chaudhary is talking about poverty and joblessness, is mobocracy. And what we are seeing in Bangladesh, with factories being burned, with the state going up in flames, no government left, anarchy on the streets, do you think this is going to this is going to address the issue of joblessness? Do you think this is going to address the issue of poverty and prices? Number two. Number three, he talks about Umar Khalid. Apart from the fact that that guy is a despicable character, you know, who anybody in my book who says Bharat ke tukde hone chahiye, I consider him to be the worst example of humanity. But has he been denied due process of law? Has he not been given the right to go to every single legal forum?
Absolutely.
Now,
and
if
which
the
is why I
judges
said
do
that
not-
Kamruzaman Chaudhary, in a bid to
Yeah, so I
protect
don't know
Salman
what Mr. Chaudhary is
Khurshid,
talking
is
about.
undermining Indian democracy. But Sushant Sareen, what are we expecting from people who've justified the imposition of emergency? Shehzad Poonawalla, the opposition is telling you that beware.
You see, few weeks ago, Salman Khurshid's family members spoke about vote jihad, and now they are talking about satta jihad. That means the transition has taken place from vote jihad to satta jihad. And let us understand what they are actually advocating. It is not just the rule of mob, but also you can see the kind of Hindus that are being targeted in Bangladesh. Perhaps those who think Hindus and Hindutva is like ISIS and Boko Haram are advocating such kind of targeting of Hindus in India as well. And therefore, the Congress party today, when it does not condemn Sajjan Verma, when it does not condemn Salman Khurshid, it is actually saying that it stands with mobocracy, it stands with the targeting and selective targeting of Hindus, and it also justifies this in the name of progressive liberal politics. Now, one by one, let me address the questions. Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary said, look, there is joblessness in Bangladesh, there is democracy is finished in Bangladesh. But few weeks ago, this was Kamruzaman Chaudhary's favorite YouTuber.
कई पैरामीटर्स में इंडिया को पीछे छोड़ चुका है या छोड़ने वाला है. बांग्लादेश एक बहुत बड़ा पॉजिटिव एग्जांपल सेट कर रहा है.
Their ecosystem was hailing the same Bangladesh, saying कि ये तो देश सबसे बढ़िया है और भारत पीछे छूट गया है. Today Bangladesh became the epitome of democracy, mukt place. It became an epitome of joblessness. So who was lying then and who was berating Bharat then? Now the second question is that Bharat's institutions, whether it's the armed forces, whether it's the constitutional transfer of power, isn't this being undermined? Aren't you undermining the judiciary when you say that Umar Khalid is being detained in jail? He said the governments have been dismissed. Which government has been dismissed by the central government? Thirdly, let me come to the larger point. The point is that look at the farcical bipartisanship Rahul Gandhi was speaking of just a few days ago, but today the hypocrisy and the wheel of hypocrisy has been lifted. They can speak about all eyes on Gaza and Rafah, not a single word on the Hindus that are struggling in Bangladesh. They can speak about the Bangladeshi model, but they are whitewashing the crimes on Hindus that are taking place. Not one statement has been made about that. And also lastly, the Indira Gandhi Cultural Center has been attacked. Is that also a sign of progressive liberalism, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary?
Now, before he answers, let's open this up. Dr. Syed Hafiz, you've heard the argument, sir. I want to begin by asking you, do you endorse what Salman Khurshid has said and what Sajjan Verma, leader of the Congress, has said, that PM Modi's house will be next?
Absolutely, we are totally disconnected. We don't approve of such statements because democracy and anarchy cannot go together. We are a party which believes in democracy. And you cannot draw parallels between Bangladesh, Pakistan and India because these two have a different political system, different constitution and different constitutional powers. Thanks to the founders of this country, thanks to the architects of the constitution. So we do not agree with what Salman Khurshid said that there are going to be mobs or whatever Times Now is projecting to have that India Alliance. No, India Alliance does not believe in whatever Salman Khurshid said, and we don't even know if this is the official stand of the Congress at the first place. But however, there are things that we have to look into is that the power of the constitutional bodies which are being forced to compromise from ED to CBI to other machineries where they are forced to compromise and the ruling party taking in majoritarian appeasement. So these things might lead to unrest, which we have been constantly addressing. Till the opposition parties like the DMK or our allies are there, we will not encourage anarchy, we will not encourage mobocracy, because by saying so, we are undermining the constitutional bodies of this country, which are still relevant, which are to the maximum extent are strong and independent. And then till they are strong and independent to the judiciary, to the other constitutional bodies, anarchy or mobocracy cannot be here in India. That credit goes to the founders of the constitution and the architect of the constitution.
Dr. Syed Hafiz, I'm glad you've at least taken a position, but you're saying you're not sure whether this is the official stand of the Congress party. Now, The next logical question is that if this is not, what will they do with Salman Khurshid? Because they did nothing with Sam Pitroda. Said this is not the stand of the Congress party. Yet Sam Pitroda is back to what he was doing. Shehzad Poonawalla.
No, every time they say that this is not the official stand, then they should sack Salman Khurshid. What about Sanjay Raut? Sanjay Raut was salivating at the fact that Hindus have been targeted there and he drew parallels. So did you take action on Sanjay Raut? He's a spokesperson of the India Alliance. Here is Mehbooba Mufti's daughter asking, does Lok Kalyan Marg have a swimming pool? Asking for a friend. Did the DMK take a stand on the PDP or on Mehbooba Mufti, who has also made a statement? No, they have not made any statements. When they want to speak, they say that we are all together as India Alliance. But when the statements come of these individual leaders, at that time they say that this is their individual party stand, it's a personal stand. Secondly, you are saying appeasement of the majority. Do you think that Sanatan should be eliminated? This could also cause a fear. Is that a statement that was in sync with the constitution? And at that time, what was the stand that you took on Udaynidhi Stalin? And it was Supreme Court that said that this was hate speech. At that time, you did not say anything against that statement. You did not even take action on your own. So today, Salman Khurshid is basically echoing the same line that Udaynidhi Stalin is saying. One is saying Sanatan elimination. Other is saying that what happened in Bangladesh should happen here.
Dr. Hafiz.
Yeah, see, the entire Sanatan statement is a matter which has been sub judice, and we have given 100 times the clarification that was in the context to untouchability and not to the religion per se. But BJP has nothing more to say. They will stick to it. Even after 100 years, you wake Shehzad Poonawalla. The only point he has to counter is he'll come up with this Sanatan stand and my leader Udaynidhi Stalin. Let that be. Let that be. I hope I'm not interrupted.
Did Supreme Court say it's hate speech?
No, Supreme Court did not, and we have given a clarification. We never said we have compromised. We have given a clear statement. It is still under trial. Let the judgment come out and let us be convicted of convict. Till then, it is a matter of observation. Like the Supreme Court said that Modi was responsible in an observation that he failed miserably in 2002 Gujarat riots.
That's
now
what
you are saying about the hypocrisy.
That is your best defense.
You are behind the
Supreme Court has
supporting
okay, let's bring in the others. IP Singh
has said that what
okay, 1 minute. Shehzad Poonawalla, Dr. Hafiz, 1 minute. IP Singh hasn't spoken.
Be some decorum in. I did not interrupt when Shehzad Poonawalla was talking.
No, you didn't.
This entire show is about promoting Shehzad Poonawalla. Let him talk. We'll all sit and watch.
No. Let's bring in IP Singh. Dr.
Hafiz,
I'm coming
to you. Let him talk. Let him take my time also. Let him take your time.
No, nobody is taking no one's time, sir.
There
1
are
minute.
3 people
1 minute.
from India Alliance.
One at a time, gentlemen.
There are
please.
3 India Alliance panelists.
Let's
there's
please
1 BJP.
have some order, please.
Exactly.
IP Singh जी, सलमान खुर्शीद ने जो बोला है, उसको लोग कह रहे हैं कि देखिए, ये तो पहले से इसकी तैयारी की जा रही थी. मोदी को तानाशाह बोलना, वोट जिहाद बोलना, अब ये बोलना कि अगला टारगेट प्राइम मिनिस्टर का घर होगा. इस पे तो कोई आउटरीच नहीं है. जय संविधान कैसे है ये?
देखिए, उन्होंने देश को आगाह किया है और यह सच है कि देश में अघोषित आपातकाल है. इस तरह के हालात 2012 से 2014 में बने थे, लेकिन बड़ी उम्मीदों के साथ मोदी सरकार आई कि महंगाई कम होगी. बहुत हुई महंगाई की मार. अब की बार मोदी सरकार. आज 200 रुपए किलो दाल है. अरहर की दाल की कीमत है 260 रुपए. सरसों का तेल और 100-125 रुपए पेट्रोल के दाम हैं. आप समझिए, आपने संविधान को कमजोर किया पटेल जी. आपने चुनाव आयोग, जितने इंस्टीट्यूशंस थे, सबको खत्म करने का काम मोदी सरकार ने किया. चुनाव आयोग में जो अधिकार सुप्रीम कोर्ट को था, 3 लोगों का पैनल था, आपने कहा इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. यही काम शेख हसीना ने किया. सिमिलर घटना वहां अमेरिका अलर्ट करता रहा. भारत आंखें बंद करके प्रधानमंत्री सोते रहे. सार्क देशों को कहां चले गए 2014 से 2024 के बीच पता ही नहीं चला. आप खूब देखिए, आपके बगल में श्रीलंका में हुआ, दूसरी तरफ अफगानिस्तान में हुआ. सभी देशों में इस तरह के हालात हैं. आपके पड़ोसियों से, आप विश्वगुरु हैं, आपके पड़ोसियों से रिश्ते बेहद खराब हैं.
अच्छा आईपी सिंह जी, मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं.
जाते हैं.
मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं.
बोल नहीं पाया पड़े जी, 1 मिनट बोलने दीजिए जी. मैं कह रहा हूं कि लखनऊ में अकबर नगर हजारों घर गिरा दिया तानाशाह ने, लेकिन जब वही रामनगर और लक्ष्मण नगर आया तो उस पर रोक लग गई. क्या हालात हैं आप देखिए, 5-5, 7-7 सरकारें बर्खास्त कर दी। आप बताइए, एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ है, महाराष्ट्र में कैसे सरकार चल रही है, किस तरह से मध्य प्रदेश में आपने सरकार गिरा दी, कैसे समाजवादी पार्टी के राज्यसभा के सांसदों का इस्तीफा करा दिया, पूरे देश में आप इस्तीफा करा दिए। और सवाल यह था कि बैसाखी सरकार से उम्मीद थी कि हमारे दो जो सहयोगी हैं, नायडू और नीतीश कुमार
कह रहे हैं, नहीं, मैं आपको फैक्ट चेक करना चाहता हूं। आप जो ये अकबर नगर और रामनगर, लक्ष्मण नगर कह रहे हैं वो फैक्चुअली सही नहीं है। बहुत सारे मंदिर भी टूटे हैं जो अगर बीच सड़क पे बनाए गए थे, आईपी सिंह जी। लेकिन मैं आपसे एक सीधा सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं। नहीं, एक मिनट देखिए सर, यू कैन डिरेल द डिबेट लाइक दिस। जब मैंने, आप सुनिए, आपके सहयोगी हैं सैयद हफीज, जब मैंने डॉक्टर हफीज से सवाल पूछा तो उन्होंने क्लियर स्टैंड लिया। उन्होंने बोला कि वी डोंट स्टैंड विद दिस, लेकिन आप तो कंडेम भी नहीं कर पा रहे। आपने बोल दिया कि अगर दाल महंगी है तो देश को आगाह रहना चाहिए, दाल महंगी है तो सड़कों पे दंगा हो जाए, लोगों को मार देना चाहिए। और आपने आईपी सिंह जी ऑपोजिशन, 1 मिनट सर, आईपी सिंह सुनिए, आईपी सिंह, अरे मुझे तो बोलने दीजिए प्लीज। आईपी सिंह, द मोदी गवर्नमेंट हैज गॉट 240 सीट्स। आपने पूरा कैंपेन चलाया, उनको तो जनता ने सबक दे दिया। अब आप क्या चाहते हैं कि रूल ऑफ मॉब हो, मोबोक्रेसी हो जाए?
लूट लिया, लोकतंत्र को लूट लिया। उत्तर प्रदेश में 11 सीटें उन्होंने छीन लिया, मध्य प्रदेश में छीन लिया, महाराष्ट्र, जहां जहां उनकी बस चली, जहां उनकी डबल इंजन की सरकार थी, 79 सीटें उन्होंने छीनी है। वही काम जो शेख हसीना ने किया, वही काम मोदी सरकार ने किया, वही काम अमित शाह ने किया है।
अरे तो अगर छीन लिया तो आपको जितने सीट आए वो क्यों छोड़ दिया?
ये जोड़ तोड़।
आईपी सिंह, एक मिनट, और मैं आपसे एक और मैं कुछ तस्वीर दिखाना चाहता हूं। आप कह रहे हैं शेख हसीना, एक मिनट, शेख हसीना तानाशाह, आप सुनिए, शेख हसीना इज अ डिक्टेटर। राहुल गांधी, सोनिया गांधी देखिए बैठे हुए हैं, टीम इंडिया के प्रोमिनेंट लीडर्स हैं, गले मिल रहे हैं शेख हसीना को। ये क्या है, डिक्टेटरशिप को एंडोर्स कर रहे हैं? कमरुज़मान चौधरी, इज शेख हसीना डिक्टेटर? वॉज शी अ डिक्टेटर?
या Pranesh, let me first address you one very important point that has come up through today's discussion. You know, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is the father of Bangladesh, and the way his statues have been vandalized or the Indira Gandhi Cultural Center was destroyed, there is an eerie similarity between Bangladesh and what's happening in India. Let me cite you one example. There was one very viral video in which a lady from the Sanghi ecosystem was shooting at a portrait of Mahatma Gandhi in India. These people, the Sanghi ecosystem in India, they want to erase our history. They want to change the history. Even they have tried and attempted to change the preamble of the constitution. They are trying to change the laws to suit their narrative. The eerie similarity, that is what I am saying, is that the underlying current that is present in Bangladesh, though I don't support of any form of anarchy, but that same anarchy is
but you are inciting the mob,
cannot be ruled out.
And you were talking about the shooting. No, you were talking about the Gandhi statue. Do you know the man who? Wait. 1 minute, Kamaruzaman Chaudhary.
Don't.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Let's do it one by one. Do you know the man, Mr. Sharma, the man who made a temple for Godse? He eventually joined the Congress party. So what are you talking about? First, there is no condemnation of the mob rule. You are injecting context to it. Can there be any context to mobocracy? That's the simple question. Shehzad, I'll come to you. Sushant Sareen, why is this dangerous commentary, sir? Why is this narrative so dangerous? Why are we playing with fire?
Pranesh, because I think these people think that this will happen only to their opponents, it will not happen to them. And when mobs take over, then the mob has its own logic or lack of logic, and they target whatever comes in its way. You can't reason with a mob. You can't have a rational dialogue with a mob. There is only one way of quelling a mob, firing at it and stopping it. It's whether you like it or not, that's the reality. But then there is a question of how many people do you actually manage to kill? And for most democratic societies and for most societies, it's very difficult to actually fire on people. So there is that particular problem. But I think the people in the opposition parties, and I think it's very unfortunate that they are trying to, stoke these fires, thinking that, okay, if you can't win an election, we'll get them out like
Right.
this. Like, win an election, yeah, you form the government, who's going to stop you? And all this talk about constitutional bodies being sabotaged. It's a very, very incompetent bunch of people who are ruling this country, that they sabotage the constitutional bodies and still are not able to get a simple majority on them.
I am glad that, Syed Hafiz at least began by taking a stand. So on the principle of violence and mobocracy, he said, I condemn it.
Pranesh, on what Dr. Hafiz said, I appreciate what he said, but I just want to make a clarification. Number one, bodies like the ED, CBI and others are not constitutional bodies, right? These are statutory organizations. Right. These are not constitutional.
Right.
And the way, as the allegation goes, that the government is misusing these bodies against their opponents, it's the same way as in states, the police and others are misused against opponents. So, for example, if somebody tweets against Udaynidhi Stalin,
yeah.
You send the cops to that guy's house to arrest him.
Let's quickly get a response. He has his hand up. Shehzad, I'll come to you after Dr. Hafiz.
That misuse of police force.
Yeah, let's get a response.
That misuse of state power.
See, you cannot run away from the fact that this government is making its best effort to tweak the constitution, which has protected this country from mobocracy or any undemocratic move. And about Shehzad Poonawalla telling about Supreme Court quoting my leader as a hate speech or not, it is still a matter of trial. There is no conviction yet, and we have given our explanation in the High Court and Supreme Court. We will continue to talk about untouchability. It was nothing related to any specific religion. That is what DMK believes in. That is what my leader Udayana also believes in. Okay. So there is no going back at it. But our accusation towards this government of tweaking this constitution is true. And if that things happen, the protection that this country has got from such undemocratic efforts will become weakened.
Okay, Shehzad.
No, if it's a matter of conviction, then no Hindu has been convicted for terrorism, but you say Hindu community is a terrorist. But that is not the debate. The debate is something else. Today, Kamruzzama Chaudhary, for your kind information, the person who hailed and eulogized Godse is actually in the Congress party, Babulal Chaurasia. He built a mandir for Godse. Secondly, on one hand, you are saying that the equivalent of those who are hailing Godse are the ones in Bangladesh who are desecrating the statue of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. But the same Congress party says that that is democratic expression. So one part of the Congress party considers the desecration of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's statue as democratic expression, and you are saying no, it is the same as somebody coming and eulogizing Godse here and desecrating Gandhiji's statue. So please decide what is your exact stand. Secondly, I have heard everything on this debate tonight. Samajwadi Party is quoting from America. America ने बांग्लादेश के बारे में बताया था. भाई अमेरिका तो बोलती है इजराइल पे आतंकी हमला हुआ और करने वाला हमास था जो पैलेस्टाइन में था. उसको भी स्वीकार लो. वो नहीं स्वीकारेंगे आईपी सिंह जी, पर वो भी डिबेट नहीं है. आज मैं सिर्फ इतना पूछना चाहता हूं कि आप बोल रहे थे कि देखिए किस प्रकार से सरकारें गिरा दी है. 100 ऑफर 100 अलाउ सरकार बनाओ, वो ये ऑफर किसने दिया था अभी रिसेंटली? ये कौन सरकार गिराने की बात कर रहा था? और दूसरी बात प्राइस राइज, दाल बढ़ने से सड़कों पर आना है तो कर्नाटका में पानी, दूध, बिजली, बस के दाम, सारे दाम बढ़ा दिए कर्नाटका में. तो सड़कों पे आ जाए कर्नाटका में जनता वहां की. वहां पर तो हजारों करोड़ों का स्कैम भी हुआ है और वहां पर तो कर्नाटका में कोई बोल दे तो जेल में चला जाता है.
देश भर की जेलें अपोजिशन से भरी हुई हैं. आप दो मुख्यमंत्रियों को तमाम मंत्रियों को सलाखों के पीछे डाल दिया.
आईपी सिंह जी एक मिनट. आईपी सिंह जी ये देखिए सर, वेरी रेस्पेक्टफुली आईपी सिंह जी, कन्विक्शन उन्होंने उमर खालिद का एग्जाम्पल दिया. अब आप बोलेंगे सिसोदिया, अरविंद केजरीवाल, इनको बेल कोर्ट से मिलनी है. कोर्ट बेल नहीं दे रही है सर, कोर्ट ने बेल नहीं दिया है. आईपी सिंह जी, आईपी सिंह जी क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? क्या तैयारी करके आए हैं सर? कोर्ट से बेल मिलनी होती है, कोर्ट ने बेल नहीं दी है. कोर्ट ने इनको बेल नहीं दिया है.
भी दोषी बनाकर जेल में डाला गया. संजय सिंह राज्यसभा सांसद बिकारे बाहर थे, उनको सलाखों के.
तो अच्छा, तो आपको लगता है कि जुडिशरी जो है, अच्छा एक बात बताइए, आपको हमारे न्यायिक प्रक्रिया पे भरोसा है कि नहीं है?
1.5 साल से डाल रखा.
आपको हमारे जुडिशरी पे भरोसा है आईपी सिंह जी? आईपी सिंह जी, आपको हमारे जुडिशरी पे भरोसा है?
इनको जेल में डाल दिया. आप तमाम विपक्ष के मंत्रियों को जेल में डाल दिया. आप संजय राउत को जेल में डाल दिए. जो
अरे तो संजय राउत बाहर भी तो आ गए. संजय राउत बाहर भी तो आ गए. अब आप वो नहीं बता रहे आप, एक ही तरफ का बता रहे हैं। कोर्ट को बेल देना होता है। आईपी सिंह जी, व्हाट हैज हैपेंड टू यू? Why are you obfuscating? You are being selective, sir. You know, it suits your political agenda. I know it suits your political agenda, which is why you're trying to mislead the viewer. No, 1 minute. 30 seconds, we move on.
Just one statement. आईपी सिंह जी, वैसे तो बहुत सारे लोगों को बेल भी मिल गई है। आपने कहा कि एक मुख्यमंत्री को हमने जेल में रखा है। सुनिए कांग्रेस के नेता चन्नी जी क्या कहते हैं।
केजरीवाल एक शराब दे बहुत बड़े घोटाले च नामजद जेल चो सिर्फ 15 दिन वास्ते बाहर आ रहा है। अजिहे बंदे पर ਅਸੀਂ क्या विश्वास कर सकते हैं?
ये तो केजरीवाल को खुद कांग्रेस पार्टी भ्रष्ट बता रही है, तो बताइए कि कोर्ट भी रॉन्ग है उसको जेल में डालने के लिए।
There are many even in the Delhi Congress who want Arvind Kejriwal in jail, but gentlemen, thank you for joining us on